Yes, Westbrook is a little bit of a blast from the past. I feel like all we should be hearing this morning is Jalen Brunson scores again. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Sports Spotlight. I'm your host, Rizwan, and we are here for this, man. I've got on the airwaves of Radio Azad my good friend and a wonderful basketball mind, Manny from Kansas City. Manny, welcome, man. How you doing?
I am still
Hey,
celebrating from last
yeah,
night.
are you from Kansas City or are you from New York today?
And when it comes to the sports teams, it's definitely New York.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know you're a big fan, a long-suffering Knicks fan, and
Yes,
here we go. Jalen Brunson comes through last night, man. Look, the series is going to look a little lopsided, historically when we look at it, but these were hard-fought games, and the Knicks always came through in the clutch when it mattered, right? Uh, Big comebacks in a lot of these games. But boy, oh boy, just tell me, give me the feels, give me what you're feeling right now as a Knicks fan who's been watching them for 30ish years, heartbreak after heartbreak, to finally
I
get over the hump, get a championship. How's it feel?
I still can't believe it, to be honest. So I don't know if you watched Stephen A. Smith last night, for example, on SportsCenter with Scott, and he was telling them, "This is my best career day ever. Like in his whole life, he's like I'm the happiest I've ever been." So yeah,
I
I
bet
still
he's a
can't
big
believe
fan.
we won.
I can't imagine I can't imagine what Spike Lee must be feeling,
Mike Lee, yep.
going through all these iconic. I mean, there are so many. You know, it might be close, the level of celebrity engagement that they get
Yeah,
between the Knicks and the Lakers, but I'm wondering if it actually leans more the Knicks way,
it is. Yeah, it's
even
definitely New
even
York.
more so than the Lakers.
Oh yeah,
It's just it's insane. They've got all that support, all these guys. You know, you had um,
finally
Ben
got a
Stiller.
championship.
Yeah, Ben Stiller's always out there. You've got Chalamet's a Knicks fan, man. I mean,
Yeah,
just all music, movies, everywhere. If you're a celebrity, you have a connection to New York City, and the Knicks are, as far as basketball is concerned, as far as sports is concerned, Knicks are the sports for New York, right? I mean,
oh yeah,
you've got the Giants, you've got the Jets. I can't believe I invoked the
the
Jets.
Yankees.
But nah, ain't nothing when it comes to sports that
Hmm.
feels more like New York than the New York Knicks and Madison Square Garden. Look,
Actually,
the only thing I I was a little disappointed with, for the Knicks fans, for the Knicks and the Knicks fans, was that they could not close it out uh, in um, in Madison Square Garden. But hey, it's the NBA Finals, man.
yeah,
I think you take a win when you can get it.
absolutely. Did not want to take a chance to go back to Madison Square Garden and maybe win or lose, and then Game Seven, anything can
Yeah.
happen. So it is such a relief to see them finally win. I'm gonna say it, man. Fuck, excuse me, Jalen Brunson. He is gotta be one of the greatest winners, champions anywhere. I mean, he's all he's done is win.
High school, college, and the pros, right?
Yeah. Also under 19, I think he was in a championship team there, and even in high school, he was part of all state. So that guy, he deserves anything. He's basically to me, he's the greatest Nick of all time. I see you, Patrick Ewing, and I love Patrick Ewing, but until
Well,
you bring,
Ewing,
until you
yeah,
bring the championship home, I mean,
Ewing
this
never
just
brought.
changes everything.
Yeah, I mean,
45 points,
well,
45
that's
points, man.
that's the thing. I was gonna say when it comes to the greatest, Walt Frazier, Willis Reed, those guys might have something to say, but forget about that right now. Absolutely. Look, he didn't have the greatest efficiency wise, the greatest finals, but boy, oh boy, did he show up in this game when they were down. They went into the third quarter down 8 or 9.
Yeah,
I mean, and what's new, right? It says they've
yeah,
done this all, not just in the finals, but all playoff long, right? I mean, think about it. 4 weeks ago, they were down 2-1 to the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah.
The Atlanta Hawks. They were down 2-1 going into Atlanta for a game 4. Can you imagine? I mean, this is why sports is so exciting, right? It's this, they were on the precipice, man. They lose that game in Atlanta to go down 3-1.
Mhm.
Very difficult for them to come back. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say there's no way they could have come back from that, but very difficult to come back from something like that, right? And to go in, win, and then just go on this tear. Sorry, go on this tear where they
Yeah.
just win game after game. They won 14 straight until San Antonio finally beat them. And we really thought that had, in the series, we really thought that had turned the tide, right? After winning the first two in San Antonio, they come home. They had distractions. They had a lot of boo distractions. Um, I know. Did you hear? You mentioned Stephen A. Did you hear
Yeah.
how he said he blamed the president for that loss, and it wasn't. And it was interesting. Predictably, the reaction from the president was exactly what we expected.
Correct.
But Stephen A. came back and said, "Look, this wasn't a personal thing. This wasn't a political thing. What I'm saying is the Knicks had the mojo. They had something going.
Absolutely.
They come in, they have all the excitement. They've got the fans behind them. The city's buzzing. And then all of the sudden, the
Yeah.
fans who are so excited,
That's the
electrified,
momentum
yeah,
change
they
for
have to
sure.
go through, they can't party, they can't bring in any bags. They have to go in 4 hours early into the stadium, like all of that. The city on a traffic log jam because of that. That's what Stephen A was talking about, and I agree. I agree. Look, if I'm a fan, right, and you and I are both fans of sports, right? If I'm a fan, being a fan is a lot like, I'm going to get philosophical here now. Being a fan of a sport, of a sporting team, is a lot like love. It's not about what you get out of them, it's what you can give them, right? So if I'm a fan and I feel that wearing the wrong pair of socks that day is going to cause the team to lose, guess what? I'm not wearing that pair of socks, right? It's, as a fan, you should do what you can. I'm obviously exaggerating about the superstitions that go along with being a fan, but the point is, as a fan, if I'm in a position to shake things up that much, I would stay away. I would have stayed away. So I completely agree with Stephen Smith and his assessment. And luckily for the Knicks fans, the the skill that they had, the momentum that they built, this perseverance that they have built over the years. I still think the DNA of this team is Tom Thibodeau, right? Hard nosed defense and never give up attitude. And but boy, oh boy, they honed it under Mike Brown. They honed it this year. The first half of the season was not what the second half of the season was like. The first third of the playoffs were not what the rest of the playoffs ended up being. But boy, they get better. They learn from their mistakes, and here we go. Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, they both have a championship from that NBA draft class before, Brunson's old teammate, the great Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
He's on his second team, and here we are. Jay Brun, I mean, he's done it. He's done it. Everything that led up to this feels like the right decision, right? People questioned, why would you go to a struggling Knicks team,
Hmm.
leaving an all-time great running mate in Luka Doncic? Well, this is why you do it. This
Well, I
is why you
mean,
do it.
he was considered the second option in Dallas.
He
Like Luca
was.
was the star, and Jalen was the second option. But he goes to New York, and he becomes the main show. I mean, to put the team on his back in this game five, 45 points, man. Only a select few have gotten that many points in a finals game. Like Michael Jordan is one. I mean, there's just a handful. I
Hmm.
think Giannis had something like that when he won championship
Giannis, I
for
think he had
Milwaukee.
46 or 47. Yeah.
Yeah. So like only five players have ever gotten this many points in a championship match. So yeah, Jalen is a stud, man. He deserves everything he's gonna get. He took a pay cut. Remember when he went to New York? He took like $100 million less than what he could have got, from my understanding. But
Almost 100. Yeah, I think
yeah,
his max, the Mavs, and that's why Cuban was so confident back then
hmm
that he was going to come back, because the Mavs could pay him the most. I think it was the Mavs could have paid him like 180 million. And yeah, he took a lot less to go to the Knicks. He believed, he bet on himself, right?
totally.
And it came through. And by the way, yes, um, 45 points, tied for the third most in a finals closeout game, with Michael Jordan. You
Unbelievable.
may have heard of him. And then
Yeah.
the only folks who have scored more points than that in a finals closeout game, first and second are also tied, as you said. Giannis scored 50, and Bob
hmm
Pettit all those years ago scored 50.
Wow.
So yeah. So look, here's the thing, and you talk about 45 points. 45 points in today's NBA doesn't mean as much as 45 points used to mean, but
I mean,
here's
in the
what he did.
finals.
He scores 45 points, but it's 45 of the 94 points. The rest of the Knicks. So here's what Brunson did: 45 points on 14 of 27 shooting, 52%, including 13 of 15 on free throws. The
Yep.
rest of the Knicks scored 49 points on 17 of 60 shooting, 28%.
Wow.
So it's not just that he dominated with volume, he dominated by percentage. He dominated, I mean, he was the Knicks. He is the reason they closed out this game. And yes, 5 games, 4-1. As I said, I think historically, the lazy take would be to look at this and say, well, the Knicks kind of blew away the San Antonio Spurs. The Knicks really, it was a mismatch. The Spurs had no chance. And I know we're going to start hearing this definitely as soon as 4 months from now, 5 months from now, as the next season is gearing up. But I guarantee you, there's going to be some talk today, tomorrow, where, well, the Spurs just weren't ready. They're too young. They don't know how to win. All of that talk, but the focus needs to be on the Knicks and what Jalen Brunson did for the Knicks. That's where we need to give credit. That's what we need to focus on.
Yeah.
He came through. He came through in a big, big spot. Uh,
Absolutely. He came through big time. A couple other players came through as well. Obviously, OG Ananobi with that,
oh
you
my
know,
goodness.
that was huge. And then Jose Alvarado, he had a three. I mean, everyone stepped up, man. And but no doubt about it. This is completely on Jalen Brunson. He was just phenomenal. If you look at the teams, I mean, San Antonio has more talent. They have everyone from Harper to
More physical talent for sure.
Castle. Yeah, they have a lot more talent. So
You know what?
really,
I was looking at it, and yes, I think one way to look at this is the Spurs absolutely have more talent. The Knicks absolutely have more heart on this
oh
team,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And I don't just
absolutely.
mean I don't just mean Hart the player. I mean the
Yeah,
heart that this team has to play as a team. For everyone, everyone has been a hero in these 4 wins in the finals, right? Alvarado had that big game
yeah,
in what was it, game 3, I think, off
mm,
the bench, when they made the big comeback.
mm,
Um, uh, you know, Ananobi, man, oh my goodness, he's been lights out on defense. That
yes,
look, this is how treacherous this is how fragile a sports series can be, right? You think about it. De'Aaron Fox had that rebound of a Jalen Brunson miss in game
Mhm.
4. All he had to do was
Run
run,
it out.
back out, waste 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds, get fouled with
Oh yeah.
5 seconds left. Instead, he makes the wrong decision to try to rush it in with a layup. And
God,
OG
he had an easy
Anunoby
2 points.
makes a great play to
Yeah.
block that. And it was a clean block. There's no question. Like, nobody can complain that, whoa, he was fouled. He should have won. No, it was an insanely great play. It's going to be an iconic play, I think, if we think
Oh
about
yeah.
it. Again, if this were a 7-game series, that play would stand out as the pivotal moment that turned the series. It's really unfortunate that this ends up being a 4-1 series because every game was close, pivotal, tight games, big leads, but big comebacks. And kudos to New York Knicks again for just absolutely taking this. This was not given to them. I know people are going to talk about that collapse in uh, game 4,
Oh
right?
yeah.
But this was the Knicks taking the championship. This was not the Spurs giving the championship to the Knicks. They did it game after game after game, not in just this series, but throughout these playoffs. And again, kudos to Jalen Brunson. 45 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, hitting 4 of his 7 3-point attempts, and scoring that go-ahead bucket with 105 remaining. I mean, what more does he need to do, right? What did he not do for the Knicks? Just insane stuff. Great play by Jalen Brunson. Um,
Absolutely.
Now, all the kudos, right? Let's talk about these Spurs.
Mm.
The future is bright, no doubt
Oh
about
yeah.
it. The
Yeah.
future is
Absolutely.
absolutely bright. But I do worry to a young team, a young player, a young psyche. What does this type of a really it was the collapse in game 4, right? More so. Look,
Epic.
they gave up a big lead in game 1. They gave up a big lead in game 2. Right? I think they had a double digit lead in both of them. One of those games they had a 14-point lead. The other one was 11 maybe. But that game 4, that was a backbreaker.
All time. One of the all time like I'm telling you, like such an iconic pushback from OG Anunoby. That is a highlight from this season. Like that is like the Tyree catch for the Giants. You know,
Yeah.
on the head. This. That's all you remember from that from that year when the Giants won with Eli, right?
Yep.
That crazy catch. This is all you're gonna remember years from now. That he came out of nowhere from that miss and just got it, man. Yeah, that's just been what a season, man. Holy
Yeah.
cow.
I don't know if you realize this while we're heaping accolades. The Knicks actually with this. So look, first off, anytime you're going to have a 15-1 run to finish the playoffs with a championship, you're going to be flirting with all-time records
Oh
in the
yeah.
playoffs. So yeah, the Knicks are tied for the second best run in the playoffs at 16-3. The only team that outdid them was that video
Cool.
game team that the Warriors had put together in
Oh, the Warriors,
2017
yeah.
when they went 16-1 when they had
Wow.
KD.
Yo.
But yeah,
No, they've been dominant, man.
they,
They've not only had multiple sweeps, they've also just blown out some teams like by 50 points. Some of those games were ridiculous. So yeah.
well, and the first half, how they jumped on so many teams. I think they had 2 different 80-point first halves. I mean, it was just so. Look, the net rating. The net rating is one of those stats that you look at your offensive rating versus your defensive rating. The Knicks finished these playoffs with a net rating of plus 15.4. Their offensive rating was 119.9 and defensive was 104.5. 15.4 net rating. Do you know where that leaves them? As the greatest playoff team in the history of the NBA at plus
What?
15.4 net rating. The next
Wow.
best is those 2001 Lakers with, a prime Kobe and a prime Shaquille O'Neal,
Mhm.
right? They were second, a full 2 points behind them at 13.4. Those 2017, the aforementioned 2017 Warriors that went 16 and 1 in the playoffs, their net rating was not as good as the Knicks at 12.9 in third place. Those 2014 Spurs who beat the Miami Heat, 10.4 net rating.
Wow.
I mean, this is, yes, we're going to be, I don't know if the Knicks can sustain this, right? For the Knicks fans, for you, for everybody, I hope they can, but I don't know if they're going to sustain it. We'll find out. We'll find out quickly next year. I know they can retain this whole roster, like they can run it back.
Yeah.
They're actually positioned right now to run it right back. I don't
Yeah.
know if they will. I think they might try to capitalize. I don't want to get into all that offseason stuff, but I think they might try to capitalize on either cashing in on Anunoby or Cat's success. But we'll see. Regardless, this championship, they are in position to be in the conversation for being the greatest champion of all time. I'm not saying the greatest team of all time. We'll see if the team can sustain it. If this is going to become a dynasty, but like the Golden State Warriors did over the last 10 years. But right now, they are, by the net rating, they are the greatest champ ever. On top of that,
Wow.
man, I've got more stuff. The Knicks have just been so impressive, but we do have to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to wrap this up, and then we're going to get into football. You're listening to the Sports Spotlight with Rizwan and Manny right here on Radio Azad.
This is Radio Azad, streaming in Dallas, Fort